What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the best formations in FIFA 17. Today's formation, we're going to take a look at the 4-5-1 formation. So we already took a look at the type 1, which is you have 3 center mids, of course the outside midfielders and a striker, but now you're only gonna have 1 center mid and 2 cams. So this is more like an offensive style of formation. So it was my first time trying this formation, to be honest. I have tried this formation in other FIFA before, which I did enjoy, but in this FIFA, of course, everything changes. So my first opponent, he had a 3 in the back, so I like to play with 3 in the back, but you have to be careful when you if you make any mistakes or going forward. Not so it's really easy to counter attack a 3 in the back if you make a mistake. So but again, this formation, because you have 2 cams, they don't have to be pacey, because you have 2 cams but you also have outside midfielders. So that's why I got Draxler and Thiago. They're not the paciest, but they have a really great shot. The physicality on Thiago is not the greatest, but he has great passing. So a lot of those through balls to Lewandowski, they was always on point because we had great passing on my cams. Also, but on your right mid and left mid, you do need pace on those positions. So we have Douglas Costa in one end, and the other end we have Herman, I believe his name. So those are great players, and they're also really pacey, and the physicality is great. That's something that I always look for in a player: pace and physicality. But we have only 1 striker in Lewandowski. I haven't tried Lewandowski in a 2 striker formation yet. But as a 1 striker, he just was great. He make great runs. You can make great through balls to Lewandowski. He will go for them. So I really like it. But my first opponent, he wasn't that great. Like, I think we put like 7 goals on him. So I was enjoying him with this team. On my first game, he was just I was just going through him by his defense. I don't know. I think he just didn't know how to play the game really well. But so we put 7 on that. My first opponent. My second opponent, he had a 4-3-3 formation, which this formation, I also heard great things about this formation. So I haven't tried it yet. I like to play with the false 9, but that formation I have heard is great as well. But because this is the draft, I cannot change the position of my players. So if you play with this formation, because you're only gonna have 1 center mid, so while defending, of course you have the 4 in the back and your center mid, most of the time it will be there. But if you play on seasons or foot champions or another cup or friendlies, the thing that I will do to this with this formation is to manually, when you own a game, your center mid, convert your center mid to a center defensive midfielder and put distractions to stay back while attacking, because you don't need your center mid to go forward, to be honest, because you have your 2 cams, your 2 outside midfielders, and your striker. Most of the time they will go forward when you have the ball. So I think it will be better if you put manually that center mid on a center defensive midfield and switch it and to put it so he doesn't go forward when you're attacking. That's something that I will use with this formation, and I think it will work because you don't need a lot of, not too many people going forward. So because like when defending, even though in the draft I could see my center mid didn't go forward, like he's a defensive minded player, so he wasn't going forward a lot of the times. But so I wasn't having a lot of problems while defending. So that's something good about this formation, even though it's more like an offensive type formation. But if you have the right players in each position, again, you can do great things, on offense or defense, so it doesn't matter. Even though we have Koscielny, Mustafi, so it's kind of like a hybrid, this team. It's not the whole like Bundesliga team, but we have players from the BPL and Bundesliga. So I don't remember if we had 100 chemistry, but I believe it was close to 100, I believe so. But again, guys, we play really well with this formation, and I enjoy it. Like I said in other episodes, I enjoy playing with formation that you can see a lot of the players in the middle, because you have a lot of things that you can do with those types of formations. I personally, I don't use this formation on my main team. I use the 4-1-2-1-2, but this is a formation that you can get good at it and put it on your game style. That you can play with your regular formation, your favorite formation, whatever, and then if you're winning, you can take a look at this formation and see how it goes. If you're winning by 2 goals, you can take a look at the formation. Maybe it can help you going forward and of course on defense. But if you're winning and you wanna change formation, I personally wouldn't change it to this formation. I personally would change it to the 4-5-1 type 1, which is you have 3 center mids on the middle. I think that formation, for me, I would personally use that formation instead of this one, because again, it's more, this formation is more offensive. The 4-5-1, I believe, the type 1 is, even though you have a lot of people in the middle, you can go forward. You can create more. You can also create chances. So it depends. Like if you're really good at creating chances, you're really good at having a lot of possession of the ball. I think this formation, like, it really can suit your play style. If you really always have a lot of possession of the ball. And defending, again, is great. If you have the right players, if you have the defensive-minded players, so you can. Yeah, you're not going to consider a lot of the goals. A lot of your opponent is not going to score a lot on you if you really know how to defend. But again, you have 4 in the back. Like every time that you have 4 in the back, make sure your cornerbacks stay back while attacking. They don't need to go forward. You already have a lot of players going forward, so you don't need more, because if your cornerbacks go forward, then you're gonna have problems there. So that's why. Even though you put them to stay back while attacking, a lot of the time they will go forward. But if they're pacey, they have pace, like, you should be okay. And especially with that center mid, if he's a defensive-minded player, the player is not going forward as well with your cams or outside midfielders. So we did okay with this formation. We went to the final, but unfortunately we lost on penalties again. The last episode I lost on penalties, and this episode again. But we got to the final. It was a great opponent. My opponent was great. Like, he knew how to attack. He scored some goals. If you saw the clips, the goals that he scored, they weren't that great. But hey, that's FIFA for you. So I'm not complaining that much. I only complain for champions. That's when I really do complain. But what can I say? So this is the team, guys. A great team. Draxler, guys, he's an amazing player, and he's not that expensive and amazing. I really enjoy playing with Draxler. Thiago is a great player, but again, his stamina is just not that great, so you have to change it at the end. I was using a legend. I had a legend on my substitute, so I think it was Bierry, I believe, and he was also great, but I personally wouldn't buy him. I think there's other legends that I really like. But on the packs, we didn't get anything great. We got Begovic, the goalkeeper, which he's an amazing goalkeeper, to be honest. But again, nothing great. So thank you guys for watching. Give this formation a try, or the type 1 formation. Those formations are great if you really want to try something new, or if you want to get better at using other formations. Make sure to be great at using a formation with at least with 3 center mids, or a lot of this formation. Like, you have 2 camps, but you have a center mid. But I prefer the other one with your 3 center mids and your 2 outside midfielders. So you're gonna have a lot of players in the middle. So thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys later. Thank you.